Hello, I'm Player State and welcome to a new indie game video. Today we're going to take a look at Amerzone, the Explorer's Legacy. This is a adventure game where you set off on a quest for the great white birds in a mysterious land full of secrets. It's a remake of a game from 1999. So yeah, interested to take a look at this kind of first-person adventure game. Back then in 1999, those kind of missed was the kind of going concern. That's not the right word. Was the big boy on the block, I guess, would be the words. Point-and-click adventures were more 2D, so it was kind of. I don't know a lot about the original game, but I think it was kind of seen as like a landmark title at the time. I don't know whether it was any good, but but yeah, we're going to take a look at this remake. Just want to say thank you to the developers for giving me a review copy to take a look at. So why don't we jump in? Right, I've got 2 difficulty levels. Traveller, you wish to enjoy the ambience and the story with a moderate difficult level for puzzles. You'll find more documents and guidance to progress among the various destinations for your journey. In addition, the hints you can unlock from your journal will be more precise. Adventure, you will get stuck more often or will need to explore and experiment more to solve the puzzles. You will find fewer documents and help to progress through the various destinations in your adventure, and the hints you unlock from your journal will be less precise. I don't really know how I feel about this, because I don't know if it's a game from 1999, we're talking very obtuse, so you want Traveller, but have they updated it because it's it's a remake? Have they changed the puzzling? I'm going to err on the side of caution and go with Traveller. You may think I'm a bit of a wimp, but I don't care. Why's the middle mouse button to continue? That's weird. In loving memory of Benoit Sokol. The kind of mission of his family. Right, bit of a atmospheric introduction. Wait, they're telling me the members of the team. She gets a name on the front. Is that? Oh no. Okay. We're getting everybody. It's like they made the game. If they're the people who work for Microids, these people made the game. Those first 2, not so much. These are the birds. No, they just like. They're standard geese, aren't they? They're not moving at all. That's a bit weird. Oh, is this me down here? My little am I on a bike? Looks decent, graphic wise.
You're the journalist, aren't you? I gave him your letter the other day. The professor's probably read it.
Oh, it's a bit of head bob.
He received another letter this morning. I put it in his mailbox. It was a letter from the museum.
Where are you going?
Letters from the museum. They always mean trouble.
It's still like he's trying to edge away.
He has trouble moving around, you know. He's an old man. You know what I mean. You want my advice? He should see a doctor. Well, that's what I think anyway. Oh, and have a care. It looks like something fell from your bag over there. Well, then have a nice day.
That's some weird delivery. You always feel that's the problem nowadays. I'm pretty sure this doesn't have an AI in it, but your mind is always like, that's weird. That sounds weird. Is it AI? I think it's just bad delivery. Not bad, but just like not the best. Instructions from Mondial magazine. Professor Alexander Valembois probably, isn't it? He awaits you at his lighthouse in Brittany. Despite his unsavoury reputation, he's the only expert on the little-known Amerzone, and we absolutely have to fill those last pages in the feature that Camille left so empty. Valembois seems to have enjoyed your communications. Get what you can from him face to face, and get back to Paris as soon as possible. The accounts department refuses to cover any hotel fees for this report. Emma Fitzgerald, Editor-in-Chief, Mondial magazine. Right, let's go chat to this bloke, Professor, in his lighthouse. Click on the move icon to move in the direction shown. You can skip the movement by double-clicking. That's a weird mouse. Why is the mouse button so small? For your convenience, some movements are set to be skipped by default. Alright, so we go like that. Interesting. Watch the geese fly over. Ooh, what's this? Is it like, am I supposed to go look at this telescope? But can I move more? No, you can't. So there's no moving. You've just got to click and move. Oh, I could have looked to take a closer look, but never mind. Alright, so let's inspect this. While in close-up view, move your cursor to the edge of the screens to shift your view slightly. Okay. Can we zoom in anymore? Oh, yes, we can. But it doesn't really do anything. It's like a tiny amount of zoom. Okay, so the right mouse button does this. Looks at my journal. Go to the lighthouse. I have a meeting with Professor Valembois in his lighthouse. I should go there now. Stop dilly-dallying. Alright, let's go walk.
My friend, this old fool is overjoyed that your editor has finally decided to send you to interview me in person. As pleasant as it has been, our recent correspondence will not allow me to discuss certain subjects as freely as I would like. The subject of your special issue,
or the goose, sorry.
the Amerzone. You must be aware that it hits very close to home for me. That mysterious land is both the source of my greatest joys and my deepest disgrace. As my old friends at the museum probably told you. But no matter what they say, I know what really happened over there in the 30s, when my companions and I ventured into the unknown wilds.
The cursor indicates you can move your view during some cutscenes.
My friends and I, we caused harm.
There's a boat down there.
Harm that I am determined to heal today. But I need your help. Not only to finally bring my version of what happened to light, but perhaps to do even more. Time is running out. So, safe travels, my friend. I am quite pleased to welcome you to my humble abode. Signed, Professor Alexandre Valembois.
I was right, it is Valembois. Alright, I'm just going to boost the audio for the voice a bit. There we go. Alright, in we go. It is a bit more like Myst than I expected. I don't know why, but I thought you could like freely move about. It's just a case of clicking and moving as you do in Myst. You can directly control most mechanical elements in your surroundings. When the hand icon is displayed, click and hold the left mouse button and move the mouse in the direction shown. Oh, this is the letter that the postman wanted me to deliver. Examining objects from all angles will help you discover useful information and sometimes even specific actions. Hold the left mouse button to rotate an object, then use your mouse to move the cursor until it changes. The magnifying cursor reveals useful information. The point cursor enables you to perform a specific action. Yeah, let's just look at his letter. Mr. Alexandre Valembois. Mr. Valembois, we have thoroughly examined your plans for a new expedition to the Amerzone and regret to inform you that we are unable to give a positive response to your grant request. First, the present economic situation does not permit us to finance such a risky expedition. Second, my colleagues and I are of the opinion that, unfortunately, you still have not renounced that empirical fallacy with which was once at the root of a lengthy dispute between yourself and the museum. This venerable institution, which I now have the honour of representing, still remembers the bitter disappointment and mockery within the scientific community that resulted from your first expedition in 1932, which we had been weak enough to sanction in the first place. Just as my honourable predecessor did back then, I will warn you against the dangers of such an undertaking, where adventurous fantasy prevails over strict scientific rigour. Edouard Mulot, curator. Okay, we're going to slide this across. And in we go. Your journal has just been updated. Different tabs contain all the items and documents you've collected, your objectives, progressive hints for solving them, and lots of other useful information. Remember to check it often. You can open it from the right-click radial menu, or by using the dedicated keyboard shortcut tab. Right, we go. Oh, it's very unkempt. Unkempt. Well, I suppose it's a lighthouse, isn't it? So, going to be a bit utilitarian. As you progress along your journey, you may find investigative material, evidence that will help you unlock additional articles for your report. You don't have to conduct these investigations, but completing them will enable you to discover additional content and delve into the secondary elements of the story. Investigations are recorded in the dedicated tab in your journal. Open it via the right-click or radial menu. Right-click on radial menu, or use the dedicated keyboard shortcut. Keep your eyes peeled and don't be afraid to go off the beaten path. Can I change? No, I cannot. I want to change this space to being the move forward to move, because like having to hold down the having to press the middle mouse button isn't too nice on your finger, in my opinion. What's this? Oh, it's like stuff you can use from your backpack. So I need to find the key to get in here. Anything else? What? It's pixel hunting time. This is where you want, like, press a button and it highlights the stuff that you can interact with. But I know a lot of people don't like that kind of stuff. Oh, maybe we got something else. Professor Valembois, I've been told you no longer want to teach your workshop next year after a disagreement with a parent of one of our pupils. What it's worth, I sincerely think that you shouldn't take the comments of this individual, who is already notorious within our team, to heart. No one thinks you're a charlatan. You're a scientist, and the children love you. Year after year, I see how fascinated they are, and their teacher too, by your sessions on the Amerzonian, because it's not Amazonian, it's Amerzonian goose. And so I hoped I might change your mind by writing to you. To help persuade you, little Sophia, who was also mesmerised by your last workshop, asked me to send you something. I've attached it to this letter, along with the usual sign-up form for external educators. I hope you'll send it back to me, filled in as usual. Warmest regards, Ariana D. Oops. No, okay. I found a letter from a teacher begging Valembois to return to his position as a teaching assistant in a local school. He recently quit following an altercation with the parent of one of the students there. Investigation materials from the Roche Noir Lighthouse? That's this. A second life as a recluse. Upon his return from his expedition to Amerzone in the 1930s, Professor Valembois became the laughingstock of the scientific community. He then secluded himself in his old lighthouse. I'd like to dig a little deeper into this little-known part of his professional life, particularly the end of his career as a school teacher. Collect all investigative material related to this article to unlock it. Okay, so we need to collect 3 more pieces. Then we've got return ticket instructions and letter, one of my investigations, and then the diary. Is this his diary? Where did I get his diary from? That's a lot of stuff. I'm not going to read that right now. I'll come back to it if I need to. You don't want to hear me talking for like another 5 minutes. All right, let's go up the stairs. I've probably missed something, but heyo, such is the life of playing a puzzle game. Okay, this is slow, man.
journalist, aren't you? Come. Come.
Oh, he's going to die. He wants to go off on a trip.
Amerzone.
Amerzone.
Amerzone. Too late for me. Too late. It's all over for me.
Is he going to die?
I'm no longer in good health, my friend. It's a pity, but what can I do?
Some good shaking.
In any case, Amerzone, all that. No one ever believed me. So, after all those years, the egg, the egg is still alive.
The egg is alive.
Yes. I had planned to take it back.
Oh, he's got the egg.
To Amerzone. My expedition was ready. And all planned out to the smallest detail. And now, I have no strength left. You must go.
Here we go, yeah.
You must go.
Why is he kneeling?
Take the egg back. Take the egg of the white birds back to Amerzone. I beg you, please. You will find everything you need right here.
And
in the
now,
lighthouse.
I must die. Time is over.
You must go to the basement. Please. You must help.
Oh, he's... Yep. Nah, thanks, mate. I'm off. See you later. Oh, the wild swings of the camera, man. Hope you don't have motion sickness. Apologise if you do. But okay, I guess he's dead, so give him a bit of respect. But that just looks ridiculous. You can reveal all the possible interactions. Ah, well done, game. All the possible interactions around you by holding down the Alt key. Find the icons represented by the eye symbol. You must move the camera. Alt. There we go. Note on the Amerzone marshlands. And somewhere out there is the Temple of Flight, then the volcanic crater, and there, perhaps, redemption. Amerzone Falls. The Ovo Volas village. Is it still there? Okay. What's happening here? Why is it? Why is that? Oh, the marshlands. Amerzone Falls. Amerzone River. Luis Angel. Luis' old cabin on the banks of the Amerzone River. Luis Angel, my guide in 1933. He abandoned me back then, but strangely, I feel I can trust him. Enough to send him a diskette. Strange creatures. Best avoided. Alright. Letter from the Amerzone Zone President's Office. Alvarezsopolis, September 7th, 1998. Dear Sir, I convey to you the heartfelt greetings of President Alvarez, who is in ill health and unable to reply to your letter personally. Naturally, he has fond memories of the adventures you shared in the 30s upon his return to the country. However, as I am sure you will understand, our country's laws must apply equally to all, and the bonds of friendship you once had with our supreme guide do not entitle you to special privileges. I therefore regret to inform you that I cannot process your application for a visa to enter Amerzone. We do not wish to welcome any more scientific expeditions which could lead credence, in whatever form, to the existence of those white birds. This Indian mythology, as with all others of its kind, is keeping our indigenous fellow citizens in a state of mind that is incompatible with our country's triumphant march towards progress and modernity. Thank you for your understanding, Colonel Garciello, Attaché to the Secretariat of the Office of the President. Sounds like you're taking control over the President. President Antonio Alvarez, what has become of you, old friend? Capital of Amerzone, Alvarezopolis, a place to be avoided. Wachowski's letter to Valenbois. My friend, it was with great joy tinged with disbelief that I received your letter after more than 50 years of silence. I must admit that I had given up all hope that our paths would ever cross again, and, to be quite truthful, I thought you were no longer with us. Well, you're right about that thing now. But we are too old now, I fear, and deep down inside, the joy of meeting you again is mingled with the fear of seeing you undertake such a risky expedition at your age. My old friend Alexandre, I believe... Oh, is that his name? I believe that I share your feelings of guilt towards poor Amerzone. You made many mistakes that only our youth could explain. Today, in the twilight of our years, we want to right our wrongs and thus attempt to obtain from our fellow human beings, or from ourselves, an earthly redemption that pales in comparison to divine justice. All this is very human, I know, but what a folly at your age to set off again through the Amazonian forest and marshlands. You will fail along the way and die out there. What's more, the Amerzone you once knew no longer exists, my dear old fellow. Things have changed here, as in the rest of the world. You mentioned the white birds, but I have come to believe that they live on only in the heady fumes of intoxication that envelops the few denaturalized indigenous people who were spared by the inexorable march towards progress. You must think that I am very bitter, Alexandra, but if you only knew the sad state that this country is now in, as if it has been hit by an implacable curse. Should you persist, however, in your determination to return to Amerzone and stop over our mission in Puelba, as you have planned, note that you will not find the companion in adventures of your youth, but a poor, toothless old man who will nonetheless be delighted to welcome you under his roof. Then, like two exhausted ghosts, we will go and sit on the riverbank to watch the sun set on our lives. God be with you, David Machowski. P.S. I must say I was a little surprised by your request, but I am happy to keep hold of your backup diskette, as you call it. All the more reason for you to stop in and say hello if you insist on undertaking this ridiculous venture. Alright, so everyone's saying you shouldn't do it. David Machowski, Reverend Father, still a friend? Good candidate for a diskette. A journey that starts in France, crosses the Atlantic to an island that goes up the Amerzone River to a volcano. Circled island. Seems like Valenbois wanted to stop off there. Sketched figures. They look like animals. Nothing else to see here. Notes on the Amazon Delta. The Amazon Delta, where the waters of the eponymous river flow into the Atlantic Ocean, a natural border easily accessible, particularly after a stopover on Shipwreck Island. The fishermen on Shipwrecked Island. The fisherman we met on Shipwreck Island during the 1932 expedition. He was just a lad back then, reliable but uncommunicative when he was in a bad mood. He accepted the diskette, even hid it from Antonio's henchmen. Fisherman's letter to Valenbois. Valenbois, I never would have imagined I'd hear from you after all this time. I still remember the day you washed up on our island after the contraption of yours hit that sperm whale. I'm sure you know what has become of one of your travelling companions, Antonio Alvarez. Perhaps it would have been better if he'd gone down with your machine in the lagoon. Anyway, I'll take care of your doohickey, this backup diskette you sent with your letter. I'll hide it away like you asked, where you stayed back then. You're right to be cautious. The Amerzone Coast Guard seems paranoid that a foreigner like you is going to try and sneak across the border sometime soon. Fair winds for your voyage, and I guess see you soon. P.S. And watch out for sperm whales this time. I think that's everything. Oh wait, no, I got this one. Yeah, I have, yeah. And then we got just the areas. Right, so we got a new... Okay, so we've got a bunch of stuff. Local investigations. Investigate material from the Rochester Noir's lighthouse. So we got the visa application refusal. Oops. We need to find something else. We've got the second life as a recluse. Having to go back like this is a bit annoying. With a view of undertaking this journey to Amerzone, Valenbois seems to have made a priority of copying a series of strange diskettes. I wish I knew why. Collect all investigate. Yeah, okay. Same thing. Okay, we can click on there. So, wait. All right, yeah. Letter from an old acquaintance. Local investigations. Scarlet Geese. Professor Valenbois took up residence in an old lighthouse in... Is that an R-S? Langevin, on the coast of Brittany. His choice of residence was no coincidence, given that the lighthouse is situated right inside the breeding ground of a bird that had always been of great interest to Valenbois, the Langevin scarlet goose, and also known as the Amazonian goose. Each year, this creature migrates to the country from which it gets its name, the place that had fascinated and haunted Valenbois throughout his life. According to this letter, yeah, we know that one. The dictator of Amerzone, Antonio Alvarez, always presented himself as a champion of progress, with the ambition of making his country shine on the international stage. If that's the case, why did he seal off the borders so tightly? What could justify such secrecy, particularly when it conflicted so obviously with the autocrat's great promise? Visa refusal, boots in the distance. My reading has taught me that the Amerzone military is returning more and more frequently to Shipwreck Island off the coast of their country. They seem on edge, fearing that a foreigner might stop here before clandestinely entering Amerzone. As I explored Alexandre Valenbois' lighthouse, I discovered that the old professor really had known Antonio Alvarez, the despot who's been ruling over Amerzone with an iron fist for decades. It's certainly an unusual friendship. I'd be interested to learn more about it. Yeah, I got the visa fusion. According to an old annotated photo I found in the lighthouse, Valenbois seems to have been mortified at the bloody dictator his old friend Antonio Alvarez has become. Yeah. Okay, so that's everything there. Guess we got to search around then. What was it? Alt. A romantic representation of Valenbois' lighthouse in a storm. Got anything else around here? What we got? Oh, we can just play that. Go over here. See what there is over here. Ah, look at his desk. Valenbois' cup. Oh, it's from the woman who was the teacher. L.J. Millett High School. Probably a retirement gift. Judging by the smell, Valenbois liked to add a little kick to his coffee. Oh, this photo, yeah. Seems like she meant a great deal to Valenbois. And then we got, yeah, the negative on the back. The portrait of a young woman looks the same as the one in the photo Valenbois was holding. Oops. How do I look at that again? There we go. Valenbois has scribbled down some kind of apology. I'd be able to read it better if I had a suitable projector. Labelled 5 of 6. Alright, got to find a projector for that. What else we got? Oops. Pressing the wrong button. Pressing the Windows key. Go back downstairs, or we can go over here into the corner. Got a telephone. Not sure we need to look at the telephone at the moment, do we? No, we don't need to call anybody at the moment, right now. I don't think. Alright, let's go back. So, looked at that, looked at that. Go upstairs, I guess. Alright, there's a lot of stuff up here. Look at his desk.
My
One
dear
of three.
friend, I am an old man in the twilight of his years. I know now that I will never have the strength to set off again to the Amerzone. My only remaining hope resides in convincing you to go in my stead, to make amends for the wrong I have done to that country over 50 years ago. It was in 1929, at the university where I was finishing my studies in natural sciences, that I first heard of the Amerzone. I befriended a young law student from that country. His name was Antonio Alvarez, and he was later to become the despotic leader that we now know today. He suggested going with me as my guide and interpreter until we got to the last steps of civilization in his country. A second companion was to join me. The Reverend Father David Makowski, who was burning with desire to perform mission work among the inhabitants of those regions forgotten by the Creator. We set off, therefore, one morning in June 1932 on board the Hydra float, a revolutionary invention of mine. Unfortunately, this first prototype had several imperfections.
Well,
The mechanics
when
of
you
the
hit a
craft
whale,
failed
that would
us
be a
on the
problem.
way, near Shipwreck Island. A large number of sperm whales had settled there. I feared that we might have hit one of them. It was only by a miracle that we set foot on the shores of the Amerzone. But already, my friend, I realize that I'm only at the beginning of this tragic story.
Who's he writing to?
If
Not
you
to
want
me.
to find out about what follows, it will be waiting for you in the basement. Your next destination, should you decide to replace me for this new journey.
And that's the key for the basement. Valamboir's travel journal. You have found Professor Valamboir's travel journal, the memoirs of his first expedition to Amerzone. It is an inexhaustible mine of information about the mysterious country. Some of it may prove useful. You can access Valamboir's travel journal using the keyboard shortcut V. So that's the key. Pick that up. It's labelled basement. Oh, what's happening? Oh, we moved away from the desk. I think that's probably good place to stop. Okay, so that was the Amerzone, the Explorer's Amerzone, the Explorer's Legacy. Yeah, it was it's quite intriguing, I have to say. Apart from the fact that I'm not quite sure why he's writing to this person, other than it just struck up a friendship through. I guess it's just one of those cases of he wants to do. He's been asked to do this story by the editor, and then they've struck up a friendship through correspondence. But even so, I guess the old man's got no one else to turn to. You're the last person, so why you do it yourself, though? I'm not quite sure, other than reasons, because it's a game. I guess I'm looking for too much explanation. It's just a kind of plot device to get you to go out there. But yeah, it sounds quite interesting. Obviously, there's like a few things like I'm not really sure. he's got this regret about the country that they've done something. He feels like they've done something to do with this white egg that meant that people thought he was crazy, and was based on fiction. And there's something around that egg that the people in the country don't seem to like, because that letter talks about crazy beliefs of the indigenous population they're trying to move away from. And then obviously Alvarez himself, he must have got something out of the expedition to become this dictator and totally change his personality. Or maybe he was always a dictator and the professor just didn't know that. But yeah, I feel like there's some good narrative threads there that you can kind of pick at and are enticing me to play more. If it looks like your kind of thing, it's out now on Steam. Go check it out. It's £34.90, which I would guess was about $40, around about there. So if it looks like your kind of thing, go give it a look. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider liking, subscribing, all that good stuff. Really helps me out. Appreciate anyone who takes time out to do that. Still looking to get to 1,000 subscribers, so any subscription is greatly appreciated. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.